Yo, what's up? Welcome to episode 3 of the Log Pod. This is a podcast for our fantasy football league, the League of Gentlemen. This is our 10th season. There's a lot of money on the line, a lot of emotions on the line, especially from Nick. So we just kind of wanted to discuss all that. Let's fucking jump right into it today because we are great at time management. So let's go ahead and look at week 2, the results of week 2, how we did with our picks, and then we can kind of go from there. So let me go ahead and share so that we can all take a look at it here.
A rough week.
And what was that?
A rough week, if I shall say so.
I thought it was a great week, personally. But
weird week in football.
Yeah. This is completely the wrong screen, so don't even look at it. Here we go.
I remember my first time.
Here we go. Here we go, baby. All right, so we can start off with Jadanklage Morgoon, who is Daniel Ivanhoe coming to you from our remote location.
Again.
Man, your guy can't quit. Versus Omega Sharkus, ya boy.
Yeah. It's a lot closer of a game than the score would entail. I mean,
I would agree.
Until Stephon Diggs pooped on your chest.
That did that.
Stephon Diggs is a man. He is Himothy, as they say.
He went.
I think coming into Monday, Leo had 70 points.
Something like that, yeah. I think
so.
It was,
yeah,
I was down around 40 points.
Yeah,
but I still had Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, and the god Jake Elliott. But it was a good game for both teams. I think I still left a lot of points on the bench, which is going to be a week-to-week thing for me. I think just trying to figure out who to start. But overall, good game. Tough 0-2 start for Jadanklage. People, the pundits out there are going to start wondering if the name is maybe a curse.
It's not the name. It's me that's the curse. So I'm not worried about the name.
So I have a question for both of you. Any worries about your quarterbacks not performing?
So
Aaron Rodgers did okay, but the last 2 weeks haven't been their best performances.
This has basically been what I've been thinking about for my team. So, for me, Russ, I think it can only get better here. We're talking a brand new coaching staff, brand new offense that didn't play at all in the preseason. I think they're at their floor. So, I'll take a floor. Russ, you also saw in the waivers that I barely missed out on Tua. I wanted a little bit more safety there. But I missed out on Tua on pure ranking.
Yeah.
It was 11-11, right? So which means it was literally just ranking. I lost that. So it's kind of
ranking, yeah.
There's still priority. There's waiver wire priority.
Yeah. I'm on the same boat as Dan. It's still week 2. If we're still having this conversation 2 weeks from now, then I might start panicking. But I think Dan nailed it. We're still kind of every team's still figuring stuff out, so I'm not
Sure.
panicking yet. There are a couple of quarterbacks still on the waiver wire that I think, if needed, can be solid pickups and starters. So not worried yet, but GG's, Dan. Sorry I had to do it to you. I don't think I did this last episode, but just a reminder to all of you out there.
All right, what's the second game?
Who this is and what we are. That didn't make sense.
Got to work on the tight end management there, Dan.
I hope you didn't. I hope you didn't do it. All right, don't start with me. I hope you didn't do it last week, Leo, considering you lost last week. So that
I did.
Yeah.
I did lose last week. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We got TaylorMade period versus Scott Rusher.
It was Mark Gordon at the time.
It was Mark Gordon at the time, correct?
I sense
which
a
is our
theme
own Josh
here.
Caliendo. Yeah, the theme is good-looking fellas.
Yeah.
Um,
Notice that he picked Jonathan Ivan over Shannon Radford. Let's just make a little note there.
Damn it. An absolute ass kicking this
What's
matchup.
lacking, Josh? That had to feel good, huh?
Hey, thanks, Dan, for having my back there. You believed in me more than I believed in myself. Much appreciated.
Shellacking of the week.
The schlacking of the week. I think it's better than our matchup of the week. That's for damn sure. But Amon Ra is the truth, huh? What are you
Sun God,
thinking about
baby.
him?
Sun God.
Sun God, Jalen Waddle.
It's. I mean, when you look at it, it's super exciting. I mean, 34 from both guys, but you also have to have the optics of, okay, Jameson Williams is going to come back. It might take away a little from that. Tua's not throwing 6 touchdowns a game, so you're not really going to be expecting Jalen Waddle to have days like that. So I'll just hang my hat on a real nice day after something quiet from Brady and Saquon, and just quietly hope that I can get decent production from those two, and maybe DJ Moore comes around a little bit. So
Yeah, and I
do
think,
think
Dan,
the Dolphins. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I think the Dolphins could be a team though that regardless of how the performance is output in, they'll continue to throw the ball downfield all game long. So Jalen Waddle is going to have a lot more, a lot more high scoring weeks than not. I feel like so. I think you got a steal there in the draft for sure.
Yeah, and I think Dan kind of nailed this as the matchup was going on. If Tom gets a dud from Johnny Taylor, he's in a bad spot. I mean, he still ended up with 30 from Josh Allen, 21 from Mark Andrews. It was just he was missing the last piece of the Holy Trinity.
it's what we talked about.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. You draft the top 3. They're good. They are going to be top 1, top 3, top 5 guys at their position. So you put all of your money in those guys, and that's what Tom lacks, is that depth past that. So if they don't perform,
Yeah,
It's
you're gonna lose to Josh
it's,
Allen.
it's rough for Tom. I mean, you got to look at it from a deeper angle. I mean, it's hard. There's no depth in the starting lineup. You need those 3 to pop off, and then the bench gets real iffy. So
yeah.
Tom's team is going to put up 151 week and then give you 50 the next week, depending on what happens.
I think it's tough to talk about benches this early though, because benches are going to be in talks in week 6 and 7. Like weeks 1 through 4, everybody's starting lineups are going to be relatively the same. So his team is just
once
boomer
there's
bust.
bye weeks and stuff. Yeah,
Well, and you got to keep in mind, though. You got to keep in mind this is a shorter bench than we've done in the past. We've had 7-man benches with 2 IR spots because of COVID the last 2 years. So it's going to be shorter benches. So people got to make sure their bench management is good once you start getting to those bye weeks.
Colts are dead, huh?
Look bad.
Thought Matt
Colts
Ryan
are-
would help them.
Dead. But good
Aye.
win by Josh. I'm sure that felt good. Let's
Felt
talk
nice.
about whatever the fuck happened here. Detective Alan Gamble, which is Nick Radford, against Mike's Hard, Bongwater, Trevor Rusher. Not the best game.
No,
We had high hopes, but it did not deliver.
it's one of those situations where, looking at it, if I would have put Garrett Wilson in my starting lineup, I win the match, right? But it's
You're
one of
not
those
starting
situations
Garrett
where it's,
Wilson, though.
it's week 2. I'm not going to take out CeeDee Lamb to start Garrett Wilson, and that's the only person else I couldn't take
100%.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm super high on
I mean-
Marcus Brown. I need to die with him at this point.
From your
you
text,
can't beat yourself
Nick,
up.
You'd expect Garrett Wilson's a top 5 wide receiver from your text. So I don't
Well,
know.
top
He's
5
the
of all
ne-
time.
He's
Top
the
5 of
next
all
Justin
time.
yeah.
Jefferson.
Well, Dan, I could be a Nissan salesman, but I won't be driving a Nissan Altima. You know what I mean?
I don't know,
But-
dude. They don't call him common. So
Oh,
you're saying your receiver sucks, and you're gonna lie about it. Cool.
Let's
It's
just
called
say
being a businessman.
none of my
It's called the art of the deal.
none of my players scored a touchdown this week. Besides Patrick Mahomes, obviously throwing a couple, and he even had an off day for being at Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna happen. These
Yeah.
guys are gonna score eventually. Like they can't not score. Adrian Brown will score this season. Austin Eckler will score this season. It's gonna happen.
Well, and when you look at your team with that in mind, it really does change the narrative. I mean, Austin Eckler gets you a touchdown. That's a 20-point week from him. You know, Hollywood gets you a touchdown. That's a 16-point week from him. And it kind of changes the tide a little bit. Having
Yeah,
everybody on your team not score a touchdown is not going to
I-
happen very often.
I should have kept the Saints in. I should have just ridden there with the Saints. That would have made the game a lot closer. And then if I keep the Saints in and one wide receiver or Dalton Schultz doesn't get injured, it's a much more competitive game because Trevor didn't have the greatest week either. So this
No,
was
he
Kyle
really
Pitts
did.
might be
sneak away
dead.
with the.
You're never starting the Saints. You're never starting the Saints against Tampa Bay, though. That's
It's-
never.
yeah. It was tough.
That's
and I thought
never.
the
That's
Browns
never.
were going to just wall up the Jets, but now I know the Jets with Joe Flacco are going to throw 75 times a game. They're going to score points eventually. So the Jets are just
We
going to be
also-
a high-scoring team.
We found out Trevor's wide receiver situation is pretty dire without Michael Pittman Jr. So another thing to keep an eye on. Let's go ahead and keep moving forward with this name. that one right there you see on screen versus Hertz Chubb, James Contes. James's team is very
Just
good.
Roll
It
with.
is good. Rosen didn't have a bad week.
No, I can't give Rosen any flack. I mean, he beats a lot of people this week. He just happened to run into the wrong person. So I'm
Buzzsaw.
not gonna shit on Rosen at all. I mean, Dalvin Cook only gave you 5.6. Devonta Adams gave you 8.2. I mean, that's where his loss. Well, that's where his loss would have usually come from. I mean, those two are making the difference up against James that last week. But no,
right,
Rosen had a
Nick.
good week.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Now's the time to talk about him.
Yeah, I mean, spoiling the rankings, he's our consensus number one team. Jim's team looks good. Looks deep. It looks well-rounded. He has
Well, and-
arguably the only starting tight end in the entire league, basically.
Yo, don't you dare disrespect Pat Firmouth.
Yeah, okay.
Well, and James happens to have Nick's greatest player of all time as his starting quarterback as well. So
Jalen Hurts, maybe. Cortland Sutton's stock just went up quite a bit with Jared Judy being out.
Jared Judy. Yep.
So, and he still has Gabe Davis on the bench that he's going to play next week. That will take over Sean Penny's 1.5 points. So, like, it's tough not to be afraid of his team when you go up against him every week.
Yeah, and in that Bills defense, I mean,
The
Jesus.
Bills look like they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if the Bills go 6
Greatest team of all time.
Yeah.
the fun thing
Rosen-
about James.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead, Leo. Sorry.
Oh, scary.
Rosen got 25 from his defense as well, so that's probably not gonna continue happening. So we'll
True.
see. Well, we're all rooting for the guy to not get last place. So let's hope that is the case. All right. Moving forward, we got God did not save the Queen confirmed now. She's not back yet, so God for sure didn't save the Queen. Ryan Koenig against King Grizzle. Back to back heartbreakers for Koenig. Dropping
Koenig, we
Monday.
feel for you. Still love your
130
name.
plus. That is what happens when you draft a man who was shot in the leg.
You have done that yourself.
Hours
Good
after
job.
He doesn't even have him on the IR. He doesn't have him on the IR.
Oh
That's
my God.
the best part about all of it.
Well, I don't think he knows what an IR is, if we're being honest here. But hell of a game by Drizzle. I mean, Lamar Jackson really
Just
was the
crazy.
catalyst there. Having a hell of a game. He did not play Zeke, which was actually the move. He actually kept Zeke on his bench, and it paid off for him.
Drake
And
is
it
a
was
stronger man than
arguably
Yeah.
It's arguably the reason he won was not starting Zeke, who was probably his third round draft pick. So
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to look, if your quarterback scores 43 points, like you're probably going to win. And like his rest of his players, I mean, Curtis Samuel had a good week, but besides that, it's pretty middle of the road, solid. So Ryan probably had a more consistent, good, normal, like good team week. Drake just had to blow up your quarterback, and that's going to win you the game. So
yeah, left a lot of points on the bench with Drake London as well. But yeah, like you said, if your quarterback's dropping 40 plus, that's should be easy game. Interested to see how Ryan bounces back from another heartbreaker. Maybe he just puts in Brian Robinson just like out of respect, and he ends up winning the week. We'll see.
Yeah, it's like a sacrifice. Yeah.
Also, maybe the name not working out. You know.
No, keep the name.
Keep the name. Keep the name. We like it.
He's pissing somebody off. He's pissing the fantasy gods off.
Now
the fantasy gods aren't British.
That's true. Well, maybe it's football as in like football, mate.
Oh, they're like, oh shit, it's the wrong football.
It's the wrong football. But let's go ahead and take a look at our last matchup, which was certifiably the matchup of the week.
Great game.
Hell of a game. We are 2 for 2 picking the matchup of the week as the worst game in the entire league. So hopefully we can continue that trend. Mayo Clinic Bombers, Sam Waxman beating minus the Brandon Nemec. Close game. Another 0.4 deciding factor, which was back-to-back games there. Just a horrendous showing.
Stinkers.
By both teams. Fleg's team is dead. Najee's not it. Kenyon's not it. Juju's not it. Don't know who that is. Travis Kelce, if he has a bad week, that's your second round pick right there. You're doing nothing. Rex Burkhead is a bald white man. It just doesn't look good.
I was sad to see Aaron give up on Allen Robinson so quickly. Like, I know Allen Robinson had a horrendous week one, but it was also because he didn't get any targets. And like, those are the kind of guys that you know are they're going to try to feed the ball to week 2 just to make sure they don't. You know, NFL players get the feelings hurt too. So, like,
yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to be biased from week 1, but I wouldn't agree with you there. If someone doesn't get targets, usually they don't want them to get the ball. But if it wasn't part of their strategies, new to the team, I would have played him again for sure. But
yeah, over Rex Burkhead like every day of the week.
Well, but it's hard to beat him up on that though, because you got to keep in mind he spent good money on Burkhead, so you're thinking Burkhead's the guy, and the guy that he started over Allen.
We're still gonna give him.
Well, he's still spent on the guy, so you're going to start him, and the guy he started over Allen Robinson was Josh Palmer, who got him 11 still. He outplayed his projections, so I mean you can beat him up for that, but hindsight's always 20/20.
50-50.
It's always heartbreaking when the two worst teams that week play each other, and like one of them gets a W, and those of us that outscored them did not get a W.
I believe
that's how it goes.
Waxman is in third place currently in the standings with the second least points for. So, kind of a crazy stat there. Yeah, kind of a crazy stat there. Yeah, heartbreaker for Flegenheimer. I think he's got to start thinking about maybe making some moves. And Sam loses Trey Lance for the year.
That's going to happen to him all year.
Jimmy G is available, so it'll be interesting to see if he goes and grabs him and just slots him in. He does have Kirk on the bench.
Oh, he has Kirk.
After Kirk's showing on Monday Night Football, I don't know if.
Hey, as long as it's not prime time.
Yeah, he's only got 3 of those a year. He's fine.
I would pick up Jared Goff. over those two guys. I think Jared Goff is probably the best quarterback on the free agent list right now, and I would slot him in immediately if I was Sam.
Lions look good. Lions look very good, unfortunately. So that's kind of it for the week 2 recap. Let's go ahead and take a look at our power rankings, if we can.
Yeah.
Not too much movement, I wouldn't think, from week 1. It's actually, well, it's still early, so you probably see more movement.
Feeling out process.
More movement now than you would down the road. But I think we had a
stall.
We had a consensus number 1 this week, which we did not have last week.
Well, we had a good back and forth about how all of us are doing our rankings and everything too. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where that goes as the season keeps moving forward.
I agree. We'll see. So here we go. Week 2 power rankings. We got James at number 1, which was consensus across the board. I think it was the only consensus pick. Koenig at 2, Trevor 3, Josh Caliendo, the highest of the podcast boys, at number 4, Leo at 5, Drake and Thomas tied for 6th place, which left Nick at 8, which I think actually Nick was another consensus pick.
Yeah, Nick was consensus 8, yeah.
So the number 1 and the number 8, the number 1 and the number 8 were consensus, followed by Sam at 9, Dan at 10, Rosen just barely edging out Aaron at 11 and 12.
Yeah, and I would like to mention that you guys are all anti-Semitic because the 4 Jews are in 9th and 12th place.
Oh no!
Congratulations, you guys hate my kind.
I think that says more about the religion than it does our disdain.
Oh man,
that is another way to look at it.
Oh, rough.
But, yeah, like we said, this will be an interesting to keep track of. If you compare it to, let's say, the regular standings currently on ESPN, it is significantly different.
Yeah.
James is consensus number 1 as well on the standings. But then obviously with Koenig being 0 and 2, he's not really the number 2 guy on there. But yeah, there you can kind of see the difference between the two. It's not too crazy. I mean, it's tough to really get too buck wild. I think the main difference there is going to be Koenig and Sam, who are 2-0 and 0-2.
They swapped,
essentially swapping spots. So we'll see. I mean, Dan, looking at the ESPN projections, you now have a 26% chance to make the playoffs. What are you?
Yeah, I trust ESPN with my heart. So yeah, I'm not Nick.
Are you packing it up for the season, Dan?
Cherry pack your stats and projections. That's okay.
What does that mean?
Some projections you like to read, some projections you don't. I'm just saying.
I don't think I don't think between the 4 people here that are, or the 3 people here that are not Nick Radford, I don't think we are projection whores, my friend.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Josh sent me a text the other day relying on projections. I called you out on it. I'll find it for you.
What's next?
Forget about it. I'm the best player here. I don't know if you guys have heard, actually. But I am the league champion. So
I heard that.
No, I can mute you. He's now muted.
All right, let's dive into what's next, my friends.
Anyway,
matchups.
Yeah, well, really quick, just to talk about the waiver wire pickups for this week. We had Tua Tagovailoa going for $11, which actually 2 people put an offer in for $11, both of whom are with us today. And then Tyler Higbee going for a whopping $10 when nobody else put an offer in for him.
I thought I'd have more competition with that one. But I don't pick up many players in the year, so I'm okay spending $10 on the play. I'll pick up no more than 5 people in the entire year. So
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Oh yeah, you'll just bully Rosen for the rest of your team.
Already tried.
Dan-
Working on it.
Dan, really quick, do you want to show how we're doing on our picks for
Yeah.
fantasy? Because I think we're doing pretty poorly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. It's
Um,
actually really funny to look at. Give me a second.
It's
while I,
it's
pull it
interesting. I wonder how many weeks in a row Koenig's gonna fuck us.
up.
Goddamn
By just-
asshole.
Just
I think I went
barely
1-5 this week.
losing. Did you?
Yeah, bad week.
It was a weird week for sure.
So, given the quick little summary for your audio boys, in first we got Leo 7-5. We got Josh in second with a strong 6-6, and then Nick and myself are pulling up the rear in the exact way you think I'm talking about, 4-8. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
You did go 1-5,
Barely.
Nick. That is impressive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nick and I swapped exact one. I went 1-5 first. He went 1-5 second.
Rosen really let us down. I'm seeing is kind of the case here. That sucks.
I thought
Koenig
you
let
were
us down.
Rosen in the first place.
I'm
So,
actually, look, in hindsight, the hindsight 50-50 thing really is
Yeah.
kicking
I
in
think it was
there.
a
But
pity,
yeah, well,
a pity pick for most of you guys. And then I remember last week it was pity that you gave him. So
I
that's why
think
you
we
lost.
also didn't expect the Jalen Hurts that we got in Monday Night Football, which was a big reason why James
Let him
won.
off
But
the hook.
we let him off the hook. Oh, quick shout out to Herm Edwards. We know he's listening. We're rooting for you, bud.
Nah,
thank you.
enemy of the podcast. Enemy of the podcast.
Thank
Not a
you for
friend.
your service. Thank you for your service to the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Yeah,
Go
quick
fuck
shout out
yourself.
Robert Sarver. That's a friend of the pod right there.
Oh,
Oh.
friend of the pod, Bobby Sarver. You may not agree with what he says, but damn, do you have to agree with his?
Just know that if you were in our league,
Money.
Robert Sarver, you'd be ranked 13th because you're Jewish, just like us. So
If
Yeah.
we're shouting out people we don't like, shout out to the fan who punched Kyler Murray in the face after the game. That was
Okay.
Yeah,
Kyler
they
said
pretty
it's
cool.
okay. Kyler said it's fine now. He'd shake his hand if he met him. So
If you watch the video,
he didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident.
it's getting blown out of proportion a little bit.
Very much.
But
and I think Kyler watched it,
let's-
was like, yeah, I agree. That's too much.
Let's go ahead and move on forward to the week 3 preview.
Matchup preview.
Very nice.
spicy.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at those. We'll move through these fairly quickly. Just give our quick thoughts on each and our picks, mostly our picks. And so let's get started. First matchup, we got myself, Omega Sharkus, versus the name that shall not be named. You guys know who I'm picking. I'll let you guys talk through it.
Super interesting that Rosen's got you beaten pretty much every category there. I think it'll be a good match. I genuinely think this will be a good little battle, which means it'll probably end up being 81-82. But I'm gonna roll with Leo. I can't pick Rosen until he actually gets a win since he screwed me last week. I got Leo.
Yeah, I'm going with Leo as well. I think Carson Wentz is going to score -2 points this week. Philadelphia secondary looks really good. So, and I'm not going to fall into the trap of picking Rosen just because he's projected in every other
I
position.
don't mean to peek back the curtain behind our system here and how we record the podcast, but Nick was originally supposed to not make it this week, and he sent us his picks, and in his picks, he had picked Josh Rosen. Any thoughts?
he's checking his text right now. He's like, "Did I really?"
Any thoughts, ideas, comments on what happened there?
I got a comment. Nick is the most inconsistent freaking person we've learned from this process. So he's
Yeah.
like, "All right, sure, I'll go with that guy." instead."
Hey, I pick with my gut. This one I looked at longer than I did this afternoon. So
That's fair. Hey, well, that's fair. Dan, who are you taking?
Well, I mean, I got to dissent. I really don't want to back Josh's team, but I also really don't think that Leo's team is that good. I think that the odds of Derrick Henry having a good week are just as high as Dalvin Cook having a deserved good week. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think that Josh actually has a decent squad for being ranked 11th. He just hasn't put up a good week. So I'm going to go with Rosen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that the projections are so heavily favored on his end. Granted, a lot of them, like, for example, Pat Vermouth and TJ Hawkinson are both projected 9.2, but they're giving the arrow to TJ for whatever reason. And then Devontae's projected more than Stephon Diggs, which
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. So, but you guys know I'm picking myself. I'm going to pick myself every goddamn week until I'm told
Just
otherwise.
a quick side note, I will side with you guys on this. ESPN projections make no sense that Stephon Diggs is the number one position rank, yet he's not projected the highest.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But yeah,
How should he?
I mean,
it doesn't make any sense.
it's based off matchup. So like it's usually based off defense. So that's why Rosen's all of his players besides Carson Wentz are playing bad defenses, basically.
Yeah, Rosen has really good matchups this week. That is a lot of it is just good matchups. I mean, that's why you're seeing David Montgomery projected for more than James Robinson, even though James Robinson is the number 6 running back right now. So
that's crazy that James Robinson's that high. But
God,
my team's got that dog in him, so I'm not even really worried. I think it's going to be an ass whooping. Fuck you, Dan. All right, moving on. We got Scott Rusher. What is that picture?
that's Ben Roethlisberger when he played at Miami, Ohio. That's where Trevor's dad played football in college.
The deep cuts. Did he play with Big Ben? Probably not. Right?
No.
No,
That's
much
just a
different
fun.
age group.
That's just a fun Scott Rusher fact.
So Scott Rusher
Big Ben
versus
Sam
Mike's hardball. Ooh.
We might need to edit the pod for the first time. Wow.
Against Mike's hard bong water, we got Scott Rusher projected to get the W. He does have to lick on my balls and Saccariola in yeah, Rusher's 2-0. Good matchup.
Good
Good
matchup.
matchup. Does anybody have any updates on Alvin Kamara?
He practiced today, I believe.
Did he?
So
That's good
I mean,
news.
I think he's on track to be back Sunday. But
Expectations are that he will. Expectations are he will play. Is what I'm reading.
Yeah, he's apparently like a game time decision on Sunday. That's so him not playing means he's probably play next week.
And I was telling
Gotcha.
Leo this earlier before we started recording today. I really try to avoid looking at any of that stuff until Thursday morning, just because it's Wednesday, my dudes. Everybody sits out. So
Yeah, we got QAnon over here with Trevor's top 3 players. So
We gotta chill with these fucking alt-right references.
what, dude?
Proud Boys,
we're going down a certain
Part
hole
of
on
the Deal,
YouTube.
QAnon, like
What, dude?
just Nick in
What?
general. I mean, there's a lot of alt-right in
I
one.
haven't made any alt-right references.
Yeah, but look at that.
All right, picks. I am going with Nick. Go ahead and make your pick.
I don't know what I picked in my text. I'm just going to go base.
Oh, trust me, I know what you picked, Nick.
Oh,
Because this was the battle of who does Nick hate more? Who does
I
Nick
picked
hate
Trevor.
more?
I picked Trevor, and I'm going to pick him again. I think this is
Two
the week
picks.
I think this is the week that the Cardinals beat the Rams again. They're going to do it every year. I think Kyler has a great game. And as long as Michael Pittman plays, I think Matt Ryan will be back to throwing him the ball 25 times. So
I'm gonna go with Mr. Caliendo. I rode that horse last week. Look at those rankings on his side. That's pretty freaking impressive. And then
shit.
you look on Trevor's team, and you got 3 QAnons, and that's just a bad. And he's on the right side of the screen too. So
Oh man.
Dude, I thought you just said we need to stop with these.
yeah, but that's actually really funny. We should call him QAnon.
I'm also gonna pick Scott Rusher on this one. I'll be interested to see which QB he ends up rolling with. I think that it's going to come
Jared
down to
Goff?
that, unfortunately.
You can't
This'll
start
be-
Tua
this'll
against the
be-
Bills.
This will be interesting though because both Trevor and I are habitual lineup tinkers, so this might look pretty different come Sunday morning. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say Trevor has Kyle Pitts out currently.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
You guys know the way I go about this. I'm always gonna neg. So I got Trevor Rusher taking this Mike's Hard Bong Water.
You're such a
I
nagger.
already wrote it in for you.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that either way.
Saying what?
Nothing. Go on to the
All right,
next
next
matchup.
game. Next
All
game.
right, next
You're gonna
game. We got King Drizzle, which is Drake Barackway against Detective AG. Not looking good for Detective Gamble here, just off of first look projections.
We're going to be okay.
Is this the team you're rolling with? You're gonna trot out CeeDee Lamb once again?
Yep, C. Lamb's going to play. I was happy. Again, my thinking was right. Cooper Rush was going to be a serviceable, decent quarterback. He just always
That's not what you
passes
said,
to.
but-
I think I said
They won a
better
game.
than that.
Exactly. You said he was gonna ball the fuck out.
He technically did. They beat the Bengals, reigning AFC champions.
Technically balled the fuck out.
He just keeps on throwing to Brown, and I hate it because him and CeeDee Lamb look very similar, and I think it's CeeDee Lamb every single time. One's
We were both in the
88, one's
practice squad
85.
together.
Exactly. I'm super happy I got
You
Tyler
can't just
Higbee.
say they look alike, Nick. That's not
See,
okay.
all
when
right.
when they're in pads, they do. I'm excited for the Tyler Higbee pickup. The Arizona Cardinals are terrible against tight ends, so I think he's going to score a touchdown. I feel good. I'm picking myself, obviously.
I like it.
Drake's got Noah Brown, just so you know.
Yep.
So I hope he rolls
Oh
him out
shit!
against you.
I wonder if he starts him.
I think
He
you should
has
put him
good.
in.
Deegan.
You should put him in the same line. Nick's gonna not know which one's which.
Oh man.
He has Zeke in for this one. Took out Deontay Johnson. He's got some depth. Now that I'm looking
Got
at
really
it.
good depth.
Yeah,
Really,
put
really,
blitz.
really good depth.
and for
So-
that reason, I'm gonna go Drizzy. I think Nick is gonna very slowly fall down our power rankings. So I'm gonna go Drake.
He's gonna get in that certain area of the power rank.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for Nick's bar mitzvah in the next coming days. I am
I will
going
support.
to also go with Drizzle on this one. I'm sorry, Nick.
That's fine.
I'm taking Drake.
I do think Austin Eckler is going to have a bounce back week, but you just don't have any other running backs on your roster.
Well, I'm going to flip a
Um,
coin this week.
That's
Between
good. That's
Raheem
typically a
and
good way
Chase.
to go.
I'm just
But
going to flip a
Yeah,
coin.
You can blame the
It's-
coin too, so that's great.
It seems like
that's
that
true.
Dolphins running back situation is a full split. So it's
Yeah,
toss up.
well, they're just pass first and pass always. But
Yeah, but
Um,
you'd think they dump it to their pass catching running back. I don't know. It's
Which he
it's
did
weird.
in the fourth quarter, finally, but
Yeah.
it's too late
Once.
at that point.
yeah, did everyone got their pick in right?
Yeah, I'm taking Drake. Yep.
Drake,
So
Drake,
two Drake,
Nick.
or
three
three
Drake.
Drake
3 Drake,
Um,
1 Nick.
again.
That means Nick's winning. That means Nick's winning.
That
This
happened last week, though, and I did not win. So
All right, next up, this could be a bloodbath. So we got minus the Brandon Mekuma, which is flag against the Queen Killers, Ryan Koenig.
They killed the queen now.
Yeah,
God killed the queen.
God killed the Queen. That asshole. This is pretty clear cut in my eyes.
yeah, I agree. You're
Well,
trying.
I will say, I think you have, quite the interesting thing here. It seems like every time Aaron plays a team, they do really, really bad, and when Ryan plays a team, they do really well. So something's got
Oh
to give.
shit!
Something's got to
Yeah.
give here.
It's true.
But Ryan's gonna finally get a win. Ryan is due big time. Well, unless Justin Herbert's dead, that's potential.
Oh yeah, how's his rib doing? Is he projected to play?
So one thing that's crazy is he has broken cartilage. Has anybody ever heard of that being a thing? Like, can I break the cartilage in my ear?
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
asked a friend of the podcast, Katie Mercer, about this when it happened, and she said that it's not an actual break, but like it's not a break like how you would fracture a bone, but the cartilage in between your ribs is so tough that when it like gets bruised or hit very, very badly, then they call it a break of the cartilage. So you're not
And
actually breaking cartilage. It's just like a really, really, really bad bruise, essentially.
And is it something you can just pad up and play on? Is it just whatever your pain tolerance is? I'm just curious.
It's
for
all
Justin
pain.
Herbert,
It's
how-
all pain.
Okay, so
It's all
Interesting.
pain because it's
All I can tell you,
He played after that play. I was
yeah, he
watching
looked like
that.
shit,
Finished
and
the
then
game.
he just
he threw dimes.
magically threw a dime.
I am
But,
going to
yeah,
be smashing
Kidding.
Justin Herbert under rushing yards, whatever it is. I'm putting some money on it.
His 4 probably with the
his
Yeah.
0.5.
cartilage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're all going Koenig.
Yeah.
Koenig,
Koenig,
Yeah,
Koenig,
I got
Koenig.
sorry flag.
Sorry, Flag. We love you, bud. Give me Travis Kelce. All right. Next matchup, we got the Mayo Clin Bombs against Jaden Clage Morgan. Good
Dan's
matchup,
getting
I
his
think.
first win.
Good matchup. 2-0 against an 0-2, where the 0-2 is actually favored, which is interesting.
I mean, the 2-0 also has the least points for, second least points for in the league.
Yeah, second. Because Flag has least.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised if Sam
I
sticks
like-
with Kirk Cousins.
Is George Kittle going to play? Is the question that Dan has to ask himself.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah, I've been saying it for 3 straight weeks. If Kittle plays, maybe I'll win. Yeah, I think he's leaning towards playing. He was, I believe, a full participant today. Today, Wednesday? Today.
Yeah.
And he's leaning towards playing, but I'll see it Sunday when I get a notification he's out. So
You're getting that
Yeah.
first win, Dan. I think things are lining up for you properly. I mean, if you look at your team's position rankings, like your guys' position rankings aren't horrible. You've got the number 4 running back, the number 11, 13 wide receiver, 23 wide receiver. I think you got a solid team. I think you're getting your first win.
yeah, I'm
going
gonna go.
Sam here.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going Sam. I said Kirk Cousins earlier, but then I realized Kirk Cousins is going to be playing on a random Sunday afternoon game, and that's when he shines. So I think Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins will bounce back this week. It's primetime Kirk. We don't touch.
Dan, I think even at this point, you're going to have that conversation of, is Gerald Everett even better than starting George Kittle?
Yeah,
Everett's been good.
He's been looking really good. That offense looks fantastic. But I know how unlucky you are. So
Yep.
until you prove it to me otherwise, I'm going to go against whoever you're playing.
Gerald Everett, if Dan puts him in the starting lineup this week, will have a piano fall on him on the street. So.
that's literally my life. Yeah, George
Yeah, I'm
Kittle
gonna
and him
go
will
Sam.
like they'd be moving a piano or something and injure themselves.
Yeah.
Josh, who are you
Yeah, I'm
picking?
gonna go.
I'm taking Dan.
And I am going to go with myself. I really want to pick Sam, so I'm thinking maybe that's the curse.
Try
But,
it. It works for me.
That way you
No.
can nag. and be a
I'm
nag.
gonna say that there's no such thing as curses, and I'm gonna pick myself. Let's go, Jadankledge, more Goonie boys.
Morgoon Squad. And now it's time for. Oh, wait, we don't have an audio clip for this, do we?
No, that next
Then-
week coming next week.
The matchup of the week. As we previously mentioned, we are 2 for 2 on picking the worst game of the week as the matchup of the week. Hoping to make it 3 in a row. So today, or this week rather, we have picked Hertz Chubb James Contes against TaylorMade. Everyone together now? Period.
Ew. Don't make me say that ever again.
Thomas's period. All right. I believe Tom is projected more. However, James Contes has scored over 130 in the first 2 weeks straight.
James
just hasn't
Gabe Davis
updated.
back end. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't updated his lineup yet, is what it is.
How do you mean?
He's
still
got
got
Tyler
Penny
Boyd in right now.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd.
You think he'd put, I guess,
Gabe
either of
Davis?
these two.
Yeah.
Gabe Davis.
So
He's
then,
gonna Gabe Davis.
what is that 6-point swing? So then he would be favored. Yeah. Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts?
James has got a really good team, but I mean it's the same thing I'll keep saying every single week until the end of the year. Tom's team is so top heavy, and if those three guys have the weeks that they're supposed to have, it's gonna be damn near impossible to beat Thomas, but James has got the team who can do it. I mean, Jalen Hurts looks to be a stud, and Nick Chubb is the number 1 overall running back right now.
We assume Thomas is going to take the Colts out, right? Like, is that an assumption we should just bank on, or he's going to maybe keep the Colts
I
in?
mean,
I
Tom's
would
not going
think
to check
he's gonna-
his phone until Sunday morning, so we'll see
Yeah.
if he notices Sunday morning.
I would
Yeah.
think he's going to take him out, but we'll see.
I got James here, though. I think his team is very good, and if Gabe Davis comes back, it's going to be even better. So Jalen Hurts is going to continue his MVP path.
I also have James on this one. Thomas's Holy Trinity has some tough matchups this week, so I think we're going to go with Jimbo on this one.
That's funny. I was going to say the exact opposite. I think that Tom's Holy Trinity have good matchups this week. I'm going to go with
Really?
Tom. Yeah, KC, the Dolphins are not good defenses. KC is no longer a good defense.
Right,
So
but
I
they're
think
going to
that-
score 21 points in the first quarter.
I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have his best game of the year so far this week.
The Casey's offense is their good defense.
Right,
Yeah.
like they're
So-
just going to
yeah.
have the ball the whole time and score it.
Yeah, and if the Colts are
So-
smart, they're gonna stop letting Matt Ryan pass the ball. And they're gonna run the ball to Jonathan Taylor. So if I'm the Colts, that's what I'm doing. I'm going Tom. I believe in you, Timmy boy.
I'm on the same page as you, Dan. I got Tom. I think those three shine out this week. I don't know. I think that Miami and Buffalo game might be a huge shootout, which means it'll probably have 9 total points scored. It'll be a 6-3 win for the Bills. So
Don't
You're
tell
saying,
Nick
Josh,
that.
whatever your lock of the week is, I should do the opposite.
100%.
That's Nick's lock of the week. That's Nick's lock of the week. But there you guys have it. We'll report back with our findings on how we did with our picks. So that's week 3 for you. So let's
We'll
go
report back with
ahead.
our findings.
Report back with our findings. We're gonna do our due diligence on this and really get back to you with a good report.
We'll circle
Um,
back on that one.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take 5. No.
For Dan.
So let's move on to the last segment, our favorite segment,
God, I hate this.
and that is
I got him locked. Bingo.
Locks of the week.
all right. Locks of the week. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we did last week. We're not good at this.
I'm in the winning column, though.
I'm
We
really
are-
bad at this.
We are not good at this. Is kind of what I'm getting out of it.
Hey,
I
betting
did-
being a 60% better is professional status. So I'm not expected to be good.
Oh, I am
Is that-
well under being a pro then.
Is that
Yeah.
a real stat, or did you just make that
Yeah.
up?
Going 60% professionally gambling is very good.
Yeah. I mean, something like that. 60% is probably a little generous. Probably like 55%, honestly. So
Cool.
yeah. So just to go over for our audio listeners, shout out, what's up? We got 1-1, me, Leo, and Nick, and Josh is a resounding 0-2. The weighted total in cash, I am your leader, and Leo and Nick basically both behind me at close to 0 net, and
Nick's
Josh
negative,
is
though.
under a lot.
I hate
Yeah.
this. I'm just not good at betting. This is
We're
rough.
not good. I mean, I think we got to get better. Nick was the only one who hit last week on that Bears pick. No,
Bucks.
Bucks pick.
Took it to the last quarter.
Covering against the Saints. Josh had the Bears, who got smoked. I had the Steelers, who are bad.
Boring game.
I had the Manders who got smoked.
You had the Manders, who just looked horrendous from the beginning. So it's still early in the week. We're still figuring out our system, figuring out our models, making sure our statistics look right.
Josh,
but
is there a rat behind you?
My dogs, man.
Just so out of pocket, so unnecessarily.
Let's just dive into these picks. Let's just dive into
go
these picks.
ahead and dive into these picks. Who wants to start it off, Josh? I think you must.
I got to start it off every time. In another just probably awful pick, so do whatever the opposite is of what I'm doing. I have the Lions to cover the spread against the Vikings. Lions are 5.5 point underdogs, so I think they keep it close. I think the Lions have actually looked really, really good. I'm going to use transitive property here. Lions kept it really close with the Eagles, and the Vikings got their ass kicked by the Eagles. So I think maybe Lions even pull out a win here, but I'm just going to go with covering the spread. That was minus 106 when I got it.
That was Lions plus 5.5.
Yeah,
I don't hate that. I would put that bet down as well. I think the Lions are a much better team than people anticipated this year. So
right, same.
I'll go just because I think everybody knows. I have the over 53.5 in the Bills-Dolphins game. It may sound like the obvious sucker pick, but I feel great about it. I think that I know it's NFL and it's they don't score as much as college and the overs aren't as big, but I'm surprised this wasn't 58.5, 59.5. So I think 53.5 is very attainable. I think it's going to be a shootout again. Even if it's not a shootout, the Bills score 40 points. So
just so you know, I think part of the reason for that, I actually looked at this, is the weather is looking like it is going to be very stormy in Miami on Sunday. So that might have
going to be there.
Stormy Daniels is going to be there.
Yeah.
Damn. Know that, Josh? I'm going to pretend I didn't hear it. So I got that at minus 114. Damn.
It's right. Yeah, it's already in, so you're locked in, so you can't change it. Actually, Leo, you go.
I will go next because I'm the GOAT at betting. Real quick before I tell you my pick, Dan, I don't know if he was going to bring this up, but he is on an incredibly hot streak. Even so far as to hitting a ridiculous blackjack.
I'm staying at
Stipulation.
Resort right now for work, and I won $600 playing blackjack for 30 minutes last night.
Good Lord.
I'm telling everyone in the world because it was like a great heater after a great betting heater last weekend, college and NFL. So we're going high right now, baby.
I like it.
Did you get yourself a nice steak dinner yet?
Yeah, and I expensed it.
Yeah,
so Dan.
If you guys want, his Venmo is at DIvanho. Go ahead and request him any amount of money. He's fulfilling all requests.
It's DIvanho then if you're requesting.
Yeah, it's my lock of the week is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs covering 6.5 points against the Colts. I know that's a lot of points. It's in Indianapolis. But I just think if you get shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-0, you're dead. You are a dead team.
You're a dead person.
You don't deserve to really be in the NFL. So until the Colts prove otherwise, I think they could get shut out again. I don't know if that's ever happened in the sport of football. where two teams get shut out with back-to-back games, but I can very easily see
Look
it
it up
happen.
for you.
I mean, the Jaguars defense can't be any better than the Kansas City defense. And
For what
Kansas
it's
City
worth-
really prides themselves on the run defense that they have, which is what the Colts are going to try to do. So,
For what it's
I think
worth,
it's a great
the
bet.
Colts have always played bad against the Jaguars for the last 5 years. When the Jaguars went 1-16, the only team they beat was the Colts. So I think it's just a bad
tied
matchup.
the Texans. What about when they
No,
tied the
it's-
Texans week?
It's a good pick. I like the pick. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
I think there's something else to look into other than the Colts got shut out by the Jaguars. They never go into Jacksonville play well ever.
I agree.
Great
So-
pick. Great pick, Leo. I actually already have a parlay in where I took that as well. So I agree with that. I say parlay.
Modern football for you, Leo. The Oakland Raiders in 1970 had 3 straight games where they got shut out.
Oh, man.
That's right. Fuck you, Raiders fans. All right. And I'm going to roll up. And Leo, you're at -114. Nick also -114. I'm going to go one step further and go -115.
Wow.
Packers at the Bucks, the over 41.5. I think that we get a little bit more points than that. I think that's.
Like
I don't
that.
think that. Can't see that possibly only ending like a 24-10 or something like that. I see Tom Brady at least showing up a little bit. I think he's due for one.
The Bucks are due for an offensive showing
Yeah.
at some point.
Mike Evans
Yeah.
is not playing. Everyone's aware of this, right?
Mike Evans
Leonard-
is
Leonard Fernandez
suspended.
too.
Tom
Evans
Brady
is-
is though.
Yeah, Tom Brady had 3 points against the Saints.
Is Chris Godwin
Yeah.
playing?
It's true. He's
I don't know.
starting.
I like the pick, though. 41 is a low
Yeah.
number, and it's very easy to cover.
So you got 2 first ballot Hall of Famer quarterbacks. I don't
That's
think
right.
you end with less than 42 points.
That's right.
Lock it in, -115.
Love
So
it.
feel free to bet the opposite of all 4 of those. You'll probably make a good amount of
You'll
money.
make money.
If you parlay that.
Parlay the
Um,
opposite of what we just told you, and you'll make some money.
Anybody have any quick
I'm gonna do
longs of the week, Nick? Have you looked
I
into
haven't
it?
had a chance to look at many longs. I can give you a
Here's-
gut long if you want one.
My
Well,
my long
the-
of the week is that Nick's team has a touchdown from somebody other than his quarterback.
That's not a long. That's at
That's a
this
long.
point that's very minus, and he's still not hitting that.
Here's my long, and I told you guys week 1 I'm going to try to keep it about the Cardinals last week, or every week. Last week I had Darren Waller 2 touchdowns. Didn't hit, but it was close. This week I have the Arizona Cardinals alternate spread against the Rams -9.5.
Cardinals
Yeah.
-9.5.
We're going to beat the daylights out of that team. I think if you were feeling
last
it,
year.
you could even go a couple more points. But I have it at -9.5 alt spread. I think it's a good number. We beat them by a field goal and a touchdown. I think we cover that. You get it at +470 right now.
Yeah, that's a little too thick for me. The Cardinals are not a good team. We got very lucky last week.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
the
that's,
second
This is shaping
That
up
starts-
exactly like last season, though. Where
That starts the
Vikings
hot
team
streak, though.
got incredibly lucky last season, then we went in and destroyed the Rams. I'm not sure if I got that schedule correct, but
Yeah, absolutely not.
Would love it.
A win like that really gets the team going. I mean, Kyler he's 22nd 2-point conversion. Like, how do you defend that?
Yeah,
You
it's like-
can't. So long it in.
quickly,
Um,
what I'm curious about, I didn't know the Rams secondary was that bad. Like from everything I'm seeing, they're like the worst secondary in the league.
Jalen
How's that
Ramsey doesn't
possible?
travel.
But yeah, behind the Cardinals.
Jalen Ramsey doesn't travel. He sits on one side the entire time. He may be damn good, and he's going to shut down whoever happens
Yeah,
to be on that side. He
years.
doesn't travel.
yeah. They also lost Von Miller, who I think was
Linchpin.
He was-
for him.
he puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback, which in turn helps secondary
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Puts a lot of pressure on me.
He's outperforming his age for sure. Still, I don't
All
have
right.
any longs for the week, but follow us on Twitter at LogPod Locks and Longs, and we'll get some of my parlays out there if you want to
Doesn't
follow me on Hot
exist.
Streak.
That's not
Yeah,
a bad
follow
idea,
us.
though. That's not a bad idea. We should start a quick little Twitter account.
I'm in
Dude,
for it.
Josh, you're the Nick.
Give me
Nick's the Twitter boy.
give me the handle. Yeah,
Log pod, locks and longs.
This
Love
is the
it.
person.
Make it-
This is the
just
person you
make
want in
it
charge of our
log
Twitter.
Yeah,
Already
first of
great.
all, Nick,
Hold on.
Nick's
Wait,
gonna
Nick,
forget to switch accounts and like a porn video or something.
It's
He's gonna Ted
like
Cruz us. He's gonna
thing.
Ted Cruz us.
We're gonna be okay.
Just make
I
it
don't
log
believe
pod.
that.
All right, shouldn't be happening.
We're out of here. Let's
All right.
close it out. Dan, play the
That
music.
is the end of the podcast. We don't know. Stop the music. Stop the music.
Say it.
Stop the music.
You can talk over it.
Thank you guys for listening. We know we went over an hour again. We swear we're trying. So if you're still listening, thank you. And if you're not,
Fuck out.